So we're going to be looking at today is facilities planning and overview. There are, in the area of facilities planning, there are two main topics that are covered. One is the design of the facility itself, and the other is the facility location. The facility design is actually split into three parts. The facility system design, which has to do with the stuff that is built into the facility, like the electrical system or the HVAC systems or any kind of structural issues like columns and things like that. That's part of the facility system design. The layout of the design of the facility is actually where we're going to be spending most of the time in this class, is looking at how to lay out a facility. Everything in a facility requires a footprint. So knowing where to put things for the most efficient use of that space and for the most efficient use of production is what we're going to be looking at. And then the third area is material handling. That's often an integrative part of the facilities design. So when we're looking at the layout, we also always want to include the material handling that's involved in it. But before we move on to the facilities design, we're going to start looking at this concept of facilities location. The location of the facility is often a very high-level decision where a company will look at where to put a facility and how, and in relationship to the other aspects of the company, whether it's suppliers or distributors or customers or existing locations. We're going to look at there's several different methods of looking at facilities location. We're going to look at one that's a pretty simple method. It's sort of a center of gravity kind of method, and you'll be able to see how to do this, and we'll look at a couple examples of this. So if we look at the United States, just as an example, although this could be the world, but as an example, we'll look at the United States, and we look at the supplier and customer locations in the United States. So you can see here that we have the suppliers are located in these various places, and the customers are here. So we're getting things from them and we're distributing it to them. And this is the volume that goes through each of these facilities. So it's kind of a weighting associated with them. Obviously, we might want to be closer to Los Angeles because it's a higher volume there, or Phoenix because it's a higher volume there. So the first step that we do with this is the steps we use is we create a grid on the map, and it can be any grid. There's no right or wrong way of doing a grid. It should be equal distance, which I'm not even sure if this is very equal distance, but it should be equal distance, so we can have sort of a consistent way of looking at it. And then we locate the suppliers and customers on the grid. So we do like an XY coordinate. You can see that Los Angeles there I have at 1.0, which is the X value, and 3.5 is the Y value. And I've done that for all the different locations were on this previous slide. So once we've done that, then we go ahead and calculate the middle, and it's a weighted average calculation for the middle. It's very simple. All we do is we take the volumes of all these locations. So we don't, at this point in time, don't care if they're suppliers or customers. We take the X values and the Y values, and we just list them in a table. We do a weighted average calculation on that. And I'm pretty sure you know how to do this. It would be the volume, It would be the volume times the X is this value. The volume times the Y is that value. And then we sum those all up, and then we divide by the total volume. So this middle location is at 6.6 and 4.4. And we go ahead and locate that on the map with our previously defined grid. It happens to be in Shattuck, Oklahoma, which is probably not a great location for a supplier, but that is the location we have. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and do a calculation here where these various volumes, and you're going to go ahead and create your own grid for this, and then we will come back and see how that looks.